Suri the Sparrow and the Quiet Grove. Once upon a time, in a bustling forest filled with chattering animals and fluttering wings, there lived a little sparrow named Suri. Suri wasn't the fastest flyer or the fanciest singer, but she had the kindest heart. Every morning she helped guide lost creatures back to their nests, watched over the baby bunnies as they played, and even spent her afternoons sharing seeds with anyone who needed a meal. Everyone in the forest loved Suri for her gentle nature and kind spirit. But as much as Suri enjoyed helping others, she often felt worn out. Her days were filled with noise, fluttering feathers, and endless requests from the other animals. Deep down, she longed for a peaceful place where she could sit alone, listen to the breeze, and feel the soft sunlight on her feathers. One evening, Suri heard about a place called the Quiet Grove. It was a hidden spot in the heart of the forest where the sunlight danced through tall trees and a clear stream bubbled through the rocks. It was said to be so peaceful that even the rustling leaves seemed to sing soft lullabies. But there was one problem. The Quiet Grove was forbidden to most animals. It was reserved only for the largest, wisest creatures, the elders of the forest, like the ancient owls and wise old wolves. But Suri couldn't stop thinking about it. Every time she closed her eyes, she imagined the Quiet Grove, a place where she could finally rest and find peace. Day after day, the thought of it grew stronger in her mind. One morning, after a particularly busy night helping a lost hedgehog family, Suri made up her mind. She knew it was against the rules, but she would sneak into the Quiet Grove. She told herself she would just visit briefly, just long enough to feel the calm that everyone said filled the place. No one would even notice. So, as the sun began to rise, Suri quietly flew through the trees, taking secret paths to avoid being seen. Finally, after a long journey, she arrived at the Quiet Grove, and it was just as beautiful as she had imagined. The air was filled with a gentle hush, and the light trickled down in golden streams through the tall trees. The brook bubbled softly, and wildflowers dotted the mossy ground. Suri took a deep breath, her heart swelling with relief and joy. For the first time in ages, she felt completely at peace. As she perched on a branch, she closed her eyes, letting the tranquility of the grove wash over her. She had only meant to stay for a moment, but the peace was so lovely that she lost track of time. Suddenly, a low, wise voice broke the silence. "Suri the Sparrow," it rumbled gently. Suri's eyes flew open, and she saw an ancient owl, his feathers dusted with silver, watching her with kind but piercing eyes. "What brings you here, little one? This place is meant for the elders." Suri's feathers ruffled with embarrassment, but she took a deep breath and answered truthfully. "I know it's against the rules," she said, "but I'm always helping others in the forest. I love taking care of my friends, but sometimes I feel tired. I just wanted a moment of peace, and I'd heard about this place." The old owl gazed at her thoughtfully. "Suri, your kindness is known throughout the forest," he said. "You give to others every day. But even the most generous hearts need rest." Suri lowered her head. "I didn't mean to break the rule. I only wanted to find peace for a little while." The owl's eyes softened, and he nodded. "It's true that we set this rule to give elders a place to think and reflect. But we also made this rule to remind everyone that peace and quiet are necessary for all creatures. Perhaps we should have shared that wisdom more openly." He paused, considering her. "Perhaps it's time we let others, especially those who work so hard to help, visit this grove. You, dear Suri, have shown that peace is a gift everyone deserves." With that, the owl turned to the forest, his voice carrying in a calm but commanding tone. "Hear me, creatures of the forest. Let it be known that the Quiet Grove will welcome any who seek rest, so long as they treat it with respect." Suri's heart swelled with gratitude. She had broken a rule, yes, but in doing so, she had helped make the Quiet Grove a place of peace for all creatures in need, not just the elders. She had learned that sometimes, Even rules made with good intentions need a second look to make sure they're fair. From that day on, Suri made regular visits to the quiet grove, and her heart was lighter and her spirit more joyful. She had learned the importance of caring for herself as well as others and, in the process, helped the whole forest find a bit more peace. And so, under the gentle shade of the quiet grove, Suri the Sparrow found her rest and her strength, knowing she had done something not only brave, but right. The wisdom of the tale of Suri the Sparrow and the quiet grove is about recognizing the importance of self-care and the courage to question rules when they don't serve everyone fairly. Suri, a compassionate helper to all, realizes that she cannot keep giving without taking time for herself. And her decision to visit the quiet grove teaches us that everyone, regardless of their role, deserves moments of peace. This story reminds us that boundaries are essential, even for those who are naturally giving and generous. Suri's journey encourages us to listen to our own needs and to recognize when we're feeling tired or overwhelmed. In daily life, this could mean taking breaks during busy workdays, setting aside time to unwind, or even saying no to commitments when we need a recharge. It's also a call to challenge societal expectations or rules that might prevent people from seeking what they need, whether that's rest, understanding, or support. By taking the time to care for ourselves, as Suri learned, we're better able to help others without feeling drained. True kindness, the story suggests, includes kindness to ourselves. And when we embrace this balance, we find a greater sense of peace and purpose.